Shalom, all praises to the Most High, all praises to His holy name. Back again by the grace and mercy of all law in the name of Yahweh. The Most High's kingdom has come. He said, do you not know that the kingdom of all law is inside of you? The reason for you, because the kingdom, you don't have a kingdom mind inside of you. His work has done the work. The truth is here. And once the truth has been revealed, the lie cannot remain. So therefore, I'm gonna let the Most High talk. Or he let me talk for him. How? Through his word. Why? Because I'm his work. First Peter chapter 11. If any man speak, let him speak as the oracles of all law. If any man minister, let him do it as the ability which all law give it. That all law in all things may be glorified through Yahweh the Messiah, to whom be praise and dominion forever and ever. Amen. His dominion is forever and ever. And it's amen. It's so. Philippians 2, 5 through 11. Let this mind be in you. What mind? His dominion is forever and ever. The kingdom is here. Trying to put some words in your conscience that you can start believing that you're not under a curse anymore. But you got to qualify for that position. You got to do what he say to not be cursed. And he qualifies you. He even does the qualifying for that. All you got to do is do what he said. Luke 17, 20 through 21. And when he was demanded of the Pharisees when the kingdom of all law should come, he answered them and said, the kingdom of all law cometh not with observation. Neither shall they say, lo here or lo there, for behold, the kingdom of all law is within you. Philippians 2, 5 and through 11. Let this mind be in you, which was also in the Messiah, Yahweh. See, another thing, let this mind be in you. Don't let their mind persuade you with their wicked minds to try to control your mind by lessen the power of his mind in you. See, the wicked always want to control your mind. But when it comes to his mind, he let his mind be in you. They don't have the right nor the power to persuade the Most High's people or direct the Most High's people's mind. They always want to try to control the narrative, no matter what it is. Tell them devils, get you behind me, Satan. Matter of fact, in the books of remembrance, it said behind, get away from me, you devils. He said, let this mind be in you, which was also in the Messiah, Yahweh, who being in the form of Allah, just like you see me, I'm in this form. Well, I look like him, copper colored. I'm his literal descendant, his posterity in the earth. Take the fairy taleness out of it and see it for what it is. He said, you should see me as I am. Who being in the form of Allah, the Father, the Holy Spirit, Kahi, being in the form of Allah as being a son of God, the Son of Man, the prophet, Melchizedek priesthood, thought it not robbery to be equal with Allah, but made himself of no reputation. I ain't got to go around telling you how great I am. Why? He said, well, the kingdom of Allah didn't come by observation. It came with power. I ain't got to tell you how great I am. You see it. And I ain't got to make no reputation about it. You spread it. But he made of himself no reputation and took upon him the form of a servant, a minister, working in the vineyard to genealogy and temple work. It was made in the likeness of men. Have you not read you your gods? And being found in the fashion as a man, the difference between a man and the others called man is his image. By now. He humbled himself and became obedient unto death, even the death of the cross. Wherefore Allah has highly exalted him, made him a God. And given him a name which is above every name. So I place my word above my own name. And he should be called the Word of God. Allah. That the name of Yahweh every knee should bow. Of things in heaven, and things in earth, and things under the earth. Giving you back dominion over all things. Leaving like the Roman Catholic Pope had to tell you by necessity. Sovereign. And that every tongue should confess, and they did, that Yahweh the Messiah is the deliverer. To the glory of Allah, the Father. Why? This is the Father's will. It's his pleasure to give his children called the Melchizedek priesthood and the priesthood of Zequili Bob or Shem and Shum, the kingdom. The sons and daughters of Allah. See, this ain't something that you can just do what you want to do and say you got the kingdom. No, you got to do what he said. He said, if you don't do what I say, then I'm not obligated to do what I say to you. You don't make no commitments to him, he ain't got to make one to you. Proverbs 3:73, for as he thinketh in his heart, so is he. So that's what he's trying to say. You put on this mind. When you know you're the elect, put on this mind. And don't listen to the wicked. Because he said they eat and drink and say he to you, but his heart is not with you. That's why I said don't worry about their mind. Put on this mind. And there should be no more curse for you. Even if they remain cursed, they ain't got nothing to do with you. I'm not cursed. I'm in the blessings. Wow, I put on that mind. They cannot return his word. Romans 10:17. So then faith cometh by hearing, and hearing by the word of Allah. But I say, have they not heard? Yes, verily, their sound went into all the earth, and their words unto the ends of the world. How? Through genealogy and temple work, through the internet, AOL. Put on that mind. And I heard somebody say this, beloved, for you are loved. So you put on that mind and lock that mind in, no matter what nobody else say. Why? Because their word is not above his all his name, but his word is. So their word can't bring to nothing when his word says the opposite. Don't worry about their words or their faces. Put on his word and his mind that will build up the kingdom inside of you. It's going to come with power. Why? It's already finished. He's waiting for you to catch up with his word in your heart. See, one thing about his word, it cannot be manipulated, nor can his word be frustrated. Don't worry about it. You just do what you're supposed to do according to his word, and can't nobody take nothing from you. Because the wicked can manipulate his word and fool him to try to stand in a position that they weren't called to be in. And he said, nobody stands at the gate but him, and he cannot be deceived. He knows who you are. He just wants you to know who you are, so you can stand with his mind. Revelation chapter 19, verse 7, to our stop. Let us be glad and rejoice and give honor to him, for the marriage Isaiah 54 and 5. For your maker is your husband. All law of hosts is his name. And your Redeemer, the Holy One of Israel. All law of the whole earth shall he be called. Matthew 22, 2-14. The kingdom of heaven is like a certain king, which made a marriage for his son, and sent forth his servants to call them that were bidden to the wedding. You have to be bidden to the wedding first, though. And they would not come. Again, he sent forth other ministers, servants, saying, tell them which are bidden, behold, I have prepared my dinner. My oxen and my fatlings are killed, and all things are ready. Come unto the marriage. But they made light of it, and with their ways, they said, I'm doing me. I'm living my best life. One to his form, another to his merchandise. And the remnant took his servants and entreated them spitefully and slew them. But when the king heard thereof, he was wroth. He was angry. And he sent forth his armies and destroyed those murderers and burned up their city, Esau's people, including these wicked Israelites. And other nations that help. Then said he to his servants, the wedding is ready. But they which were bidden were not worthy. He's talking about Judah, the northern southern kingdom. That's why he said the first should be last and the last should be first, and Ephraim is my firstborn. Go ye therefore into the highways, and as many as you shall find, bid to the marriage. Go to the lost sheep of the house of Israel. I've come not except for the lost sheep of the house of Israel, so I can invite them to the wedding of the marriage of the Lamb. While the southern kingdom wasn't worthy at that time. So those servants, ministers, went out into the highways and gathered together all as many as they found, both bad and good. And the wedding was furnished with guests. And when the king came in to see the guests, he saw there was a man which had not a wedding garment. He did not put on the mind, the word. He just came as he was, unclean. He didn't know God. He didn't know all law. He didn't know Messiah. He was a son of perdition. Why you gonna hear the word friend? That's the anti-friend. Same thing, Judah, friend. You come to betray me with a kiss, a false prophet. And he said to them, friend, how came you in the hither not having a wedding garment? And he was speechless. Why? Because he thought he can get over on the Messiah. He said, the Messiah cannot be deceived. And he said, he hires nobody to enter into the wedding. He's standing there himself to make sure the right one get in. So when the anti-prophet, the anti-Christ, the anti-Messiah came in disguised as a friend, the Most High witnessed and said, friend, how came you in here not having a wedding garment? He thought the Messiah was going to still be the lamb that was going to be too cowardly to say something to him. But the Messiah was never a coward. He was just humble. And he came for a purpose to save his people. They had him twisted. But with this authority, he judged you right to your face. He said, friend, how come you come in here looking like that? And the man who thought the Messiah was a coward was speechless that he called him on the carpet like that. Then said the king to the servants, the ministers, bind him hand and foot, the angels, and take him away and cast him into outer darkness. There should be weeping and gnashing of teeth. For many are called, but few are chosen. Luke 5:34, and he said unto them, can you make the children of bride chamber fast while the bridegroom is with them? Revelations 21:2. And I saw the holy city, New Jerusalem, coming down from all law out of heaven, prepared for a bride adorned for her husband, right here in America, based on knowledge. Let us be glad and rejoice and give honor to him, for the marriage of the Lamb is come, and his wife has made herself ready. Yahweh the Messiah, the Lamb of all law. Let's look at the term granted. Concessionaire is a noun, person to whom a privilege or concession has been granted. 1848 from French concessionaire, person to whom a concession has been granted, from concession, from Latin concession, and allowing. See, concession, native from concessionary, is attested from 1854. Concession is a noun, mid-15th century, act of granting or yielding, especially in argumentation, and allowing, conceding. To give way, yield, figuratively, agree, consent, give precedence. To go, grant, give way, to yield. From 1610s as a things or point yielded, meaning property granted by government. It's from 1650 sense of grant or of privilege by government to individuals to engage in some enterprise. It's from 1856 from the sense of in French, hence the meaning grant or lease of small part of a property for some special purpose. Let's see grant. Grants are now, late 14th century, something granted, authoritative bestowal of a privilege, etc. Grant, collateral, variant of print, promise, assurance, vow, agreement, pact, will, wish, pleasure, be pleasing, assure, promise, guarantee, confirm, authorize. Allowance, permission, especially money formally granted by an authority. That's why the Most High told you they stored up his money for his bride in the treasury. And they already told you it's trillions of dollars. He said that's his money. See, keep on coming back to it. So why are you trying to stop me from getting what's mine? I've done no wrong. And you promised it was mine. So why are you trying to stop me from having it? It says see grant is a verb. But then now they got an error 404 not found. They lying. So I went to Merriam-Webster dictionary for grant the verb. It says to consent to carry out for a person, allow fulfillment of, grant a request. Macmillan dictionary for grant the verb. To allow someone to have or do what they want. If permission is granted, they shall start building soon. Most High already told you to build it. And as usual, you already know I didn't come on here looking for things to say what I want them to say. He said, I follow the Lamb whichever way he goes. He went this way, and he telling you again. Grant is a noun, an amount of money given especially by the government to a person or organization for a special purpose. To give or allow someone something, usually in a to give or allow someone something, usually in an official way. To accept that something is true, often before expressing the opposite opinion. to give, agree to give, or do something that another person has asked for, especially as an official or formal act. You ain't got to understand, though. You got to give it to him. Because he said you got to do it officially, too. It ain't something you can try to hide behind or secretly do it. You got to either give it to me or you got to make a public announcement of proving why you don't have to give it to me. What you already said is mine. He already said all things are mine. Meaning the elect. If that's you too, if that's you. But what is mine is not yours, and what's yours is not mine. He said individually. So what you said is mine is mine. And he already said it's mine. So you got to give it to me. If not, you got to put a public announcement out there and not try to be deceptive and say why it's not mine. But you already said it is. So stop lying and do what you're supposed to do in good faith. And don't threaten nobody behind it because you owe it to him. He said, you got to get out of my way and give it to him. He said, let us be glad and rejoice. Give honor to him. For the marriage of the Lamb is come, and his wife has made herself ready. And to the Melchizedek priesthood, and Melchizedek priesthood, which is Shem and Shum, the elect, the bride, and to her was granted that she should be arrayed in fine linen, clean and white. For the fine linen Matthew 22, 11 to 14. And when the king came in to see the guests, he saw there was a man which had not a wedding garment. See, that's you. When you're trying to steal from his bride. And then you coming in without a wedding garment after you done stole everything. And he looking at you like you a fool. And when the king came in to see the guests, he saw there a man which had not a wedding garment. And he said to him, friend, how came you in here not having a wedding garment? And then you're going to be speechless. Then said the king to the servants, the angels, the high priest, the prophets, bind him with the truth. So the truth should be your shield and buckler. See, you ain't got a leg to stand on. He called you to the public. That you can't hide no longer in your wickedness. You made all the confessions of your wrongdoings for over 150 years ago. And now you're still trying to do wicked things behind the scene, but the truth is out now. And you can't hide. And he's telling you, friend, with all this truth out here and you still doing all this wrong, he's telling this minister to bind you hand and foot and cast you into outer darkness. And there should be weeping and gnashing of teeth for you because you ain't got nothing to stand on. A lie cannot stand in the face of his truth. For many are called, but few are chosen. First Nephi 12, 10 through 11. And these 12 ministers, servants, sons. And these 12 ministers whom you behold shall judge your seed. And behold, they are righteous forever. Because of their faith in the Lamb of Allah, their garments are made white in his blood. And the angel said unto me, look. And I looked, and beheld 3 generations pass away in righteousness. And their garments were white, even like unto the Lamb of Allah. And the angel said unto me, these are made white in the blood of the Lamb because of their faith in him, good faith. For the fine linen is the righteousness of the saints. Alma 5 and 27. Have you walked, keeping yourselves blameless before Allah? Could you say, if you were called to die at this time, within yourselves, that you have been sufficiently humble, that your garments have been cleansed? Well, you can't say that. Why? Because you're trying to stop me from receiving what's mine. And he told you to give it to me and get out of my way. But you still trying to be in my way and do it secretly. But he sees all things, observing the good and the evil. Even the ones who told you not to do it no more. They watching you. All eyes on you. So you can't come to him and say, when he asks you that, you can't say you blameless. Alma 5 and 27. Have you walked, keeping yourselves blameless before Allah? Because his eyes is in every place, observing the good and the evil. That's why he called both the good and the bad to the wedding. And he's going to send the bad, who's not blameless, to outer darkness, where they're going to be weeping and gnashing of teeth. All the bad faith action workers. Have you walked, keeping yourselves blameless before Allah? Could you say, if you were called to die at this time? I'm not talking about putting on a front for nobody else, but within yourself. That's what he's asking. On your deathbed, when it's over, and you know it's over, could you say this? Could you say, if you were called to die at this time, within yourselves, that you have been sufficiently humble, that your garments have been cleansed and made white through the blood of the Messiah, who will come to redeem his people from their sins? Can you say that? You can't. He said, when you done this to the least of mine, you done it to me. So you don't come in my face and say that you sufficiently humble in my face when I saw you have not done this to me? When all I was asking you, because this is me, the least of mine, I wasn't asking for much. I was just asking what was mine. And you was already instructed to grant it to me. So you can't, don't come to me thinking that you're going to get away with it. For my eyes in all places, observing the good and the evil. And he said unto me, right, blessed are they which are called unto the marriage supper of the Lamb. And he said to me, these are the true sayings of Allah, the marriage. Doctrine and Covenants 58:11, and after that cometh the day of my power. Then shall the poor, the lame, and the blind, and the deaf come unto the marriage of the Lamb, and partake of the supper of Yahweh, prepared for the great day to come, the marriage supper. Luke 14:15, and when one of them that sat at meat with him heard these things, he said unto him, blessed is he that shall eat bread in the kingdom of Allah. For man shall not eat by bread alone, but by every word that comes proceeded from the mouth of Allah. That's the bread he's talking about too. You blessed when you eat this word, because it's above all his name. And put on this mind, it was also he had. Luke 22:30, that you may eat and drink at my table in my kingdom, and sit on thrones judging the 12 tribes of Israel. The marriage supper of the Lamb. Yahweh the Messiah, the Lamb of Allah. And he said unto me, these are the true sayings of Allah. And I fell at his feet to worship him. Revelations 22:8. And John saw these things and heard them. And when I had heard and seen, I fell down to worship before the feet of the angel which showed me these things. And I fell at his feet to worship him. And he said unto me, see you do it not. I am your fellow servant, and of your brethren, that of the testimony of Yahweh. Acts 10:26, but Peter took him up, saying, stand up. I myself also am a man. And the difference between the man and the others called man is because I'm in Most High's image and likeness, both in my spirit and my body, according to knowledge. Revelations 1:1-6. The revelation of Yahweh the Messiah, which gave unto him to show unto his servants things which must shortly come to pass. And he sent and signified it by his angel unto his servant John. And now you see who that angel was. It was another brother of the Melchizedek priesthood. Who bear record of the word, same way he said the Bible and the sealed portion are the two witnesses that speaks as a man. The Southern Kingdom's history, the Northern Kingdom's history. Revelation 1:1-6. The revelation of Yahweh the Messiah, which Allah gave unto him to show unto his servants things which must shortly come to pass. And he sent and signified it by his angel unto his servant John, who bear record of the word of Allah and of the testimony of Yahweh the Messiah, and of all things that he saw. Blessed is he that readeth, and they that hear the words of this prophecy, and keep those things which are written therein, for the time is at hand. John, to the 7 churches which are in Asia. Grace be unto you. This means in the east. Grace be unto you and peace from him which is, and which was, and which is to come, and from the 7 spirits which are before his throne. And from Yahweh the Messiah, who is the faithful witness, and the first begotten of the dead, and the prince of the kings of the earth, unto him that loved us, and washed us from our sins in his own blood. And those kings are his Melchizedek priests. For I made you kings and priests. And the reason he say he's a prince, although he's really a king, because he said, my father is greater than I am. The great king. All law. And has made us kings and priests unto all law, and to his Father. To him be glory and dominion forever and ever. Amen. And I fell at his feet to worship him, and he said unto me, see, you do it not. I am your fellow servant, and of your brethren that have the testimony of Yahweh. And of your brethren that have the testimony of Yahweh, worship all law, for the testimony of Yahweh is the spirit of prophecy. And that wasn't even, that was just the dryer that stopped, and it had nothing to do with that, but it was right on time. And I saw heaven opened, and behold, a white horse. And if you read the sealed portion, he said during this 7,000 years, there's no horse riding right now. Then you know the kingdom is here. But you got to realize it for you, for the kingdom of God is inside of you. That's why he's trying to let you put on this mind that was also in his mind. So you can stop saying you cursed. And I saw heaven open, and behold, a white horse. All righty. See if I can find it real quick. He told us to rejoice. So the sealed portion, chapter 70. I'm going to start at verse 23. There were these symbolic beasts before the throne of all law in the vision of John. For they're all the creation of all law for his own will and pleasure. And now, that which is written next by John concerning that of which I've already explained in this record concerning the calling of Yahweh in the beginning to be the leader over all the children of all law in this part of his kingdom. For behold, he was found worthy of the Father to accomplish his will concerning us in all things, as it is written. And he came and took the book out of the right hand of him who sat upon the throne. And at that time, we all rejoiced in the election of Yahweh as our representative of the Father. He becoming our power, our law in this part of the kingdom of the Father. And in the book which he received from the Father was written all those things that would come to pass upon the earth, according to the knowledge and experience which the Father had written in the book concerning our second estate, these things being figurative. And there's an exact timetable of the Father that must be followed according to the eternal laws of heaven. That's why everything will happen like it's supposed to and at the right time. Although as soon as he spoke it, it already was finished. And the timetable of any planet which is used for the purpose of probationary state of the children of Allah is 7,000 years. And we are in it right now, nearing the end of that 7,000 years. Time for immortality soon to come. Many are already immortal, don't even know it. The elect have obtained and the rest were blinded. And the beginning of these 7,000 years began when the first of us, who are spirits, enter into mortality, or rather when our incorruption or eternal spirit that exists in the state of their creation forever, put on corruption or the corruptible flesh that is subject to the laws of nature, which include the death of this corruptible flesh. And this time period, even the beginning of the first of the 7,000 years began when Adam and Eve were cast out of the Garden of Eden and given the body of corruption. And for a period of 7,000 years shall this earth remain in the state of which it had arrived at the first of the 7,000 years, even at the time of the expulsion of Adam and Eve from the Garden of Eden. And after 7,000 years, this earth shall be made into one of the celestial kingdoms of the Father, it being the third planet from the sun. And having fulfilled the measure of its creation, thus becoming the third kingdom of the glory in the celestial realm. And while the earth is going through these 7,000 years, all shall be upon it, passing through the days of our probations. And Messiah is he who is responsible to the Father that his will be done on this earth. Therefore, according to the vision of John, only he has the power and authority to open each seal of the book. Or in other words, direct the will of the Father as it is given in each dispensation of time. And now when Messiah opened up the first seal of the book, a beast speaketh to John and commanded him to come and see. And also when the second seal is opened, and the third, and also when the fourth seal is opened, a beast speaketh and commanded that John come see and see. But when the fifth and the sixth and the seventh seals are opened, behold, there is no beast that speaketh unto John. Now, the reason for this symbolism is that during the opening of the first four seals, or in other words, during the first 4,000 years of the existence of the children of men, all of the warnings and prophecies concerning them are because of those things which have been caused among the children of men by their own hand, been enticed by the instincts of the flesh. That's why I said the Most High don't tempt no man. You're drawn away by your own flesh to sin. All of the warnings and prophecies concerning them, because they're doing those things which have been caused among the children of men by their own hand, being enticed by the instincts of the flesh, even those things that the children of men cause because of their own works, by using the free agency that they have been given by the Father. Behold, the beasts represent the works of the children of men by their own hand. That's now you see what the mark of the beast is. That's why I said the mark of the beast of oppression. Those who oppress, the mark of the beast is oppression, because that's what they do by their own hands. And out of those hands come forth the ID. What is it? What is that? The chip and all those other things that they say the mark of the, that's all included. But it comes from oppression. Racism, all these things come from oppression, which is the mark of the beast. But everything else that they do for oppression that comes to oppress is part of the mark of the beast. From their own hands. Bad faith actions. That's why I say he invited both the good and the bad to the wedding, but the bad gonna be cast out. The sons of perdition gonna be cast out in the utter darkness. We're gonna be weeping and gnashing of teeth. And he gonna do it courteously. He gonna say, friend, why you come here like that? You the anti-friend. Probably why they got their cartoon character where the good people call it the super friends. The elect. But those things which shall come to pass in the opening of the fifth and sixth and the seventh seal are those things that shall come to pass by nature, or by the hand of Yahweh. Men having no power to cause or prohibit these things from occurring unto them. Things that's going on right now, this is Most High's work. And this power shall Yahweh demonstrate, showing unto the children of men that he has all power to shut up the heavens, or open them up like unto a scroll at his will, to seal up unto life, or to cast down to the regions of darkness, according to his own will and not according to the works of men. So stop giving them credit for this, what's going on. This is the Most High's work. And don't no man got no power to do nothing about it. One way or the other. I heard an evil spirit trying to correct me, and I'm gonna put the evil spirit in its place. The Melchizedek priesthood is God. It is all law. It is Yahweh. Why? He said he thought it not robbery to be called equal with God. But we have respect to know that our Father is greater than us. And we call it the body of Messiah because we are Messiah. But you got to hear what I'm saying. There is a man called Yahweh. But the Melchizedek priesthood is part of his body with the same authority, sitting at the right hand of the Father. He said, you'll sit at my right hand as I sit at my Father's right hand. And lo, I saw a lamb stand on Mount Zion with 144,000 high priests. with the same authority as the Father and the Son. That's why I said, if I said or my prophet said, it's the same. So when I tell you things that he say, it's the same as him saying. In this power shall Yahweh demonstrate. That's why I said, and Savior shall come on Mount Zion to judge the Mount of Esau. That's happening right now. In this power shall Yahweh demonstrate, showing unto the children of men that he has all power to shut up the heavens. That's why I said, whatever you bind on heaven is bound on earth. What you bind on earth is bound in heaven. Or open them like unto a scroll at its will. That's why I said the heaven's going to depart like a scroll. To seal up unto life or to cast down to the regions of darkness, according to his own will and not according to the works of men. Not you. You don't got nothing to do about it. Only his anointed has this power. Therefore, your will don't matter. He said, because you ain't got no power to say, you ain't got no say so no more. That's why I said, but when the fifth and sixth and the seventh seals are open, behold, there is no beast that speaketh unto the prophet. Now, the reason for this symbolism is that during the opening of the first four seals, or in other words, during the first 4,000 years of the existence of the children of men, all the warnings and prophecies concerning them are because of those things which have been caused among the children of men by their own hand. All of your murders and slavery and everything you do by your hand through your mark of the beast called oppression. Being enticed by the instincts of your flesh, wickedness. Even those things that the children of men caused because their own works were using the free agency that they had been given by the Father. Behold, the beasts represent the works of the children of men by their own hands. But those things which shall come to pass in the opening of the fifth and sixth and the seventh seals are those things that shall come to pass by nature, or by the hand of Yahweh. That's what I said, by necessity, that Roman Catholic Pope said by necessity, through his private attorney, said sovereignty. And he put it like this: that all these things, natural and inalienable rights, come from the God of nature. That's why this God of nature called Yahweh, he said, you ain't got the power now to, who can lay anything to charge of elect? It is Allah who makes us sovereign. And you ain't got no say so in it. You already admitted to it. Not that you had any power in the first place, but since you admitted to it, you really ain't got no power. And the fact you keep on doing it, that's why he's gonna tell you, friend, how you got the audacity to come up in here like that? Messengers, angels, take him out of the darkness. That's why you in outer darkness right now, because the truth is here. And this messenger has brought you the truth. And now you ain't got nowhere to stand. You in outer darkness. And you weeping and gnashing of teeth. Although you try to pretend like you ain't. Behold, the beasts represent the works of the children of men by their own hands. But those things which shall come to pass in the opening of the fifth and sixth and the seventh seals, the seventh seal we are in it, are those things that shall come to pass by nature, or by the hand of Yahweh. So when he went over there and had that great earthquake and killed all those thousands of people, he did that. It said, men having no power to cause or prohibit these things from occurring unto them. In this power shall Yahweh demonstrate, showing unto the children of men that he has all power to shut up the heavens or to open them like unto a scroll at his will, to seal up unto life or to cast down to the regions of darkness, according to his own will, not according to the works of men. He said, that's your hand, that's by your hands. You ain't got no power in your hands to do anything any longer. This is his word. Therefore, when he keep on telling you to give me what is mine by right, you should do it. You should bow. He said every knee should bow. But if you don't, you go into outer darkness. We're going to be weeping and gnashing of teeth. And you're going to be cast down to the regions of darkness. And those things which the children of men have caused among themselves during the first 4,000 years could have been avoided had they abided by the word of Allah, which was given unto them during the time and the times. See, now we're in the half of times, though. It's just his word. We passed the half of time. We at the last of the half of time. And that which I have revealed unto you concerning the time and times and the half of time are those things that concern the spirits of the children of men, even the salvation of the soul. But those things which are revealed unto you in the opening of the seals are those things which affect the physical flesh. Yeah, those things that can harm the flesh even unto death. And during the first 1,000 years, the white horse and its riders are sent forth. That was a time of Adam, which is the color of righteousness, which was set forth by Father Adam and his righteous sons, who taught all of their children the ways of Allah, which were given unto him from the beginning. The Living Gospel Church has when I used to be there, an image that shows the horses from the top, from the left side, rising back up to the right side. Only thing is there's no horses riding now. Why? It's finished. And the white horse and his riders, meaning that all were pure and righteous in the beginning. The majority following after the things that they had been taught by the patriarch Adam, Michael, the archangel. And they went forth into the world according to the commandment of Yahweh to have dominion over all the earth. So therefore, that horse that started with Adam has made its way back to Adam again. Righteousness, dominion. The second Adam, the quickening spirit, Yahweh. And they went forth unto the world according to the commandment of Yahweh, to have dominion over all the earth, thus signifying the crown that was given unto the children of men to go forth conquering and to conquer. That's why that Roman Catholic Pope took off the crown. And the one before him took off the crown. Why? The crown had been given back to Yahweh, the true Messiah, the Melchizedek priesthood. And Michael shall help me. And then the people of the earth began to divide themselves into families and nations and kindreds and peoples. And each nation went forth to overrun another and bring the weakest among them under subjection to the will of the strongest. He said that was by your own hand, through oppression. The mark of the beast. That was your mark. And then peace was taken from off the earth, because the children of men began to kill one another during their many wars. Who did that? Cain and his offspring. Because you saw earlier, he said Adam taught his righteous sons and posterity. Thus, during the second 1,000 years, were the horse and its riders brought forth, and they were of the color red, symbolizing the blood that was spilled of the people of the earth. And when the third seal was opened, then began the children of men to do all manner of wickedness among them concerning that which they would take from the earth and place a value upon, according to their own judgments of these things, symbolized by the pair of balance in his hands, selling and buying with money those things among them that are necessity for life. That's why the Most High told them to tell the truth, and they had to tell it by necessity, that they could try to save their life. And during this time shall the great trading nations of the earth be established, and they shall begin to accumulate riches and strength, and they shall begin to take advantage of the poor, the Israelites, so that they might be rich. Why? They took it everything that, because the Israelites were already rich. That's why he told you in Revelation, I know your poverty, but you are rich. I know they stole all this stuff from you, but you rich. Matter of fact, now you're super wealthy, because the wicked is stored off of the wealth for the righteous. And that's my money. That's the Most High said. It's my money. And he said, all things are mine. All things are yours if you did that. Why? It's been granted unto us, individually and collectively. And the commerce and economy of the beast, seen by the holy prophets, were introduced, and the abomination that maketh desolation came forth. Even the desires for the riches, which make the house of one man full and the house of another empty. That's why he said in Zion, all gonna be rich and all gonna be full, so ain't gonna be no envy or jealousy. What one have, all gonna have. That's why it's not gonna be no rich or no poor, because you ain't gonna know nothing about being poor no more. But you got to qualify to be Zion. You can't just say you're. Why? He's watching. And if you come in not correct, he's going to say, friend, why are you coming here like that? And it was during this time that the abomination of desolation spoken of by the mouth of the prophet Daniel was set up for the first time among the children of men. And the reason why this great abomination make it desolation is because the economy of men beginning to make them completely desolate of the spirit of all law. So they seeking all these things without the Most High. That's apostasy of the great whore and individual apostasy. And when you're trying to do these things without the spirit of the Most High, without His word, without His blessing, you become an apostate. And then that's called the desolation, the abomination of that make it a desolation. Your abominable mind, your probate mind makes you a desolation. Desolate. That's why it says, seek ye first the kingdom of all law, and all these other things shall be added unto you in His kingdom. For their hearts become so set up on the things of the world and the honors of men that their spirits are left desolate as to the things pertaining to righteousness. So you'll do anything to get it. And by their wickedness, a few men are rich. But by the course of their riches, the majority of men are left desolate of the spirit. See, that's even talking about your preachers. See, a few of them are rich, but they leave the rest of you without the spirit. Because they ain't teaching you nothing about the Most High. Not in truth anyway. And this inequality is a great abomination before all law. And has been and is and shall be the abomination that brings the most misery and unhappiness among the children of men. That's called the Great Abominable Church. The European nations. See your portion, chapter 79. Edom, Idumea. For this reason, the horse and its riders are black and are brought forth during the time of the third seal. So all your abominable Greek theater of trying to show stuff that's black, that's over. That was during the third seal. Although the seals don't close. But no matter what color the righteous wear, they still white. Meaning righteousness. He just told you what that means. Although we copper colored people. In description. And there's no land or no people called black. Only for descriptive purposes, and I don't fit it. I'm copper colored. I'm not black. And to be honest with you, you want me to really tell you, I wear black because it makes me look a little more fitter and slimmer. I'm pretty a thick guy. That's why I wear black a lot. Not because I'm wicked. Some colors make me look thicker, so I don't wear them. My true favorite colors are blue and brown and gold. And I like silver. Gray. And I even like white. It's just that in my daily living wearing white, I would have to really wash a lot. But I'm always white in righteousness. Why? That's the Most High's word. And black is a pretty color. Why? The Most High made all colors. And he said they were good. He said the wicked man's works make things evil. And I'm not wicked. For this reason, the harsh is seal portion 70 and 57. For this reason, the harsh and its riders are black and are brought forth during the time of the third seal, signifying the great wickedness of the children of men because of their commerce set up among them. See, he said they're the ones that's black. He tells you who's black. Them. They. For they sell that which would feed a man, wheat and barley, for money. They do. See, when the truth comes out, it exposes who they are. So don't try to put their evil works on me. Because I'm not they. That's you. If you're wicked. And they are the European nations. Esau, Edom, the border of wickedness. Signifying the great wickedness of the children of men. Who is that? Precept it. I ain't got to accuse nobody falsely. Let the Most High tell you. Matter of fact, I love it when he tell you. Therefore, you can't accuse me of lying on you. So when you hear about they, now you know who it is. And then you have some quote unquote Negroes that stick to them and other people stick to them. That makes them wicked too. They part of they too. But they, when we said the devil of all devils, he told you that was. Malachi 1:1-4, the burden of the word of all law to Israel by Malachi. I have loved you, says all law. You say, yet you say, wherein has you loved us? Seeing that you putting us through all this stuff. You know how people talk. I don't think God really loves us. Look how he also making us go through. No, he's qualifying you. And he already told you that in Lamentations chapter 4, he says, I'm not going back into captivity. Our trials is over. He said, yet I didn't send them. And they're going to die for your sake. Isaiah chapter 54, verse 1-17. The burden of the word of all law to Israel by Malachi. I have loved you, says Allah, yet you say, wherein has you loved us? We're not Esau, Jacob's brother, says Allah. Yet I love Jacob, and I hated Esau, and laid his mountains in his heritage waste. See, that already happened. It just had to happen at a specific time, though. He already told you that's how it works. But the day he spoke it, it already came to pass. That's how you know you can't change it, and they can't change it. His word is settled in heaven. It's finished. And I hated Esau and laid his mountains and his heritage waste for the dragons of the wilderness. Whereas Edom says, we are impoverished, but we will return and build the desolate places. That's what they say. He said, but thus says the whole all of hosts, they shall build, because they're going to build Zion for us, the ones that's left. That's their purpose. Why he left them, why he left a remnant of them to live. He said, but I will throw down the stuff they talking about they build. And they should call them the border of wickedness. And the people against whom all law has indignation forever. He said that. See a portion, chapter 70, verse 58. For they sell that which feed a man, wheat and barley for money, and keep that which is valuable safe, the oil and the wine for themselves. That's what they do.